So, you guys have met.
Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Retrospective, where we press rewind and shine a spotlight on the shows that, whether by cosmic accident or creative defiance, left a legacy far larger than their original run. Today we're firing up the engines, pointing the nose of our ship towards the stars and revisiting a series that burned bright and far too fast. This is the story of Firefly. To really get into Firefly, you have to look at what the television landscape looked like at the time. And you know I love to do this. In 2002, network TV was dominated by procedural dramas like CSI, reality shows like Survivor, and the tail end of cultural powerhouses like Friends. Cable was starting to flex its muscles with the success of The Sopranos and 6 Feet Under, but the idea of blending science fiction with westerns, that was a hard sell, especially on primetime network television. Science fiction on TV was mostly relegated to shows like Star Trek Enterprise or Stargate SG-1. Solid, but niche. Firefly was different. It was messy, lived in, utterly human, and audiences, at least the ones who found it, weren't quite sure what to make of it. Not yet.
Hi, I'm Joss Whedon, and you're on the set of my new show, Firefly. Action!
The story of Firefly, like so many Geek Dream projects, begins with Joss Whedon. By the early 2000s, Whedon had already made a name for himself with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, shows that redefined genre storytelling for TV. He was known for sharp dialogue, emotional gut punches, and building ensembles that felt like real families. Inspired by reading The Killer Angels, a historical novel about the Battle of Gettysburg, Whedon had a simple, profound idea. What happens to the people who lose the big war? Firefly was born from that question. He pitched it to Fox as a space western, emphasizing the frontier mentality rather than the sleek, sanitized future so common in sci-fi. And against the odds, Fox said yes, giving Whedon the green light to create something deeply personal, philosophical, and character-driven. What was Firefly about? Well, simply put, it was a mashup, a bold one might I add, a space western set 500 years in the future after humans had fled an overpopulated Earth to colonize a new star system. The series followed the ragtag crew of Serenity, a Firefly-class transport ship, as they struggled to survive on the fringes of a vast, controlling alliance government. They took on jobs, both legal and illegal, to keep their ship running and their bellies full while staying one step ahead of danger. At the heart of Firefly was Malcolm "Mal" Reynolds, played with roguish charm by Nathan Fillion. Mal was a former soldier who fought and lost a civil war against the Alliance, leaving him deeply cynical but fiercely loyal to his crew. Gina Torres portrayed Zoe Washburn, Mal's second-in-command and wartime comrade, known for her stoicism and steel nerves. Alan Tudyk added humor as Hoban Washburn, and he was Zoe's husband and Serenity's easygoing pilot. Morena Baccarin played Inara Serra, a companion, a respected legal courtesan who rented one of Serenity's shuttles, adding layers of tension and unspoken affection between her and Mal. Adam Baldwin brought rugged energy as Jane Cobb, the mercenary whose loyalty often came second to his wallet. Jewel State played the ship's upbeat mechanic, Kaylee Fry, whose natural engineering talent kept Serenity flying against all odds. Rounding out the crew were Dr. Simon Tam, portrayed by Sean Marr, a brilliant fugitive surgeon, and his mysterious psychic sister, River Tam, played by Summer Glau. Their escape from the Alliance's experiments set many of the show's overarching tensions in motion. Finally, Ron Glass added a spiritual anchor as Shepherd Book, a preacher with a murky past that hinted at deeper secrets. Firefly wasn't just about space travel. It was about found family, freedom, loyalty, and the human cost of survival. Each character brought heart and complexity to a world where civilization was equal parts frontier grit and futuristic oversight, making the series' short run all the more bittersweet for fans. Firefly took as much inspiration from John Ford westerns as it did from classic sci-fi. The world was gritty and analog. Horses next to spaceships, 6-shooters next to plasma rifles. Technology wasn't omnipresent, survival was. The universe of Firefly was a place where the rich got richer and everyone else scraped by day to day. Sounds familiar. Whedon's vision drew from American frontier myths, the Civil War, post-Vietnam disillusionment, and even modern capitalism. He created a world where characters lived with moral ambiguity and survival was the only certainty. When Firefly debuted on Fox in 2002, it was already fighting an uphill battle. Fox notoriously aired the episodes out of order, starting with the train job instead of Whedon's intended 2-hour pilot, fearing the pilot was quote-unquote too slow. The marketing was muddled.
When you're captured by the galaxy's deadliest gangster, never lose your sense of humor.
Listen, if you got guests, I can come back later.
The crew of Serenity is in for all kinds of action.
Oh, my.
Positioning the show as a quirky action series rather than the space western character drama it actually was. Critics who understood the show praised its ambition, world building, and dialogue, but many viewers never even got the chance to become fans. Firefly was shuffled around time slots, preempted for sports broadcasts, and given minimal promotion. After 11 of its 14 produced episodes aired, Fox canceled Firefly in December of 2002. Just like that, it was over. Or so it seemed. Despite Firefly's cancellation, the love from its growing fan base, affectionately known as Browncoats, never died. Their tireless campaigning, DVD sales, and online buzz caught the attention of Universal Pictures, leading to something almost unheard of at the time, a feature film continuation of a canceled TV show. Imagine that. In 2005, Serenity, written and directed by Joss Whedon, was released. The film picked up where the series left off, offering fans closure to lingering storylines while expanding the Firefly universe. Cast members like Nathan Fillion, Summer Glau, and Morena Baccarin all reprised their roles, carrying the heart of Firefly onto the big screen. Now, the movie had a production budget of around $39 million, grossing approximately $40.4 million worldwide. It received positive reviews from critics for its storytelling, character work, and direction, but factoring in marketing and distribution costs, Serenity was still considered a financial disappointment in theaters. Regardless, it gained a healthy second life through home media sales, rentals, and cult status over time. Firefly helped lay the groundwork for serialized storytelling on TV. It showed that audiences could and would connect deeply with flawed characters over a sprawling, imperfect universe. Its DNA is easy to spot in shows like The Expanse, Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, and even in the character-driven approach of later juggernauts like The Mandalorian. Joss Whedon would go on to greater fame with The Avengers and other projects, but Firefly remains arguably his purest work, raw, heartfelt, deeply human. And the cast, well, many of them, Nathan Fillion in Castle, Gina Torres in Suits, Morena Baccarin in Homeland and Deadpool, well, they became stars in their own right. But to a certain generation of fans, they will always be the crew of Serenity first. So that's the High and Low Retrospective on Firefly, the show that flew too close to the sun, burned out too soon, and became immortal in the process. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, the loyalty of fandoms, and the bittersweet truth that sometimes the best things are the ones that didn't last long enough. If you've never watched Firefly, or it's been a while, maybe it's time to dust off your brown coat, start with the real pilot this time, please. And thank you in advance for commenting, liking, subscribing, and hey, join us again for more deep dives into the shows, movies, and cultural landmarks that define generations. Until next time, stay curious, stay nostalgic, and remember,
if one of us dies, we stage it to look like a suicide caused by the unjust cancellation of Firefly. We're gonna get that show back on the air, buddy.